It's either going to be incredible or I've given Rett way too much floor time. We'll see how this goes at the end. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone, episode 444. Your once-week live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm Rett.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Spotify or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we go over all things home lab and servers and current technology events and hardware and things. It's gotten really depressing as of late, so I'm trying to branch out. I'm trying to, explore different things because there's only so many times I can say that the memory crisis is only going to get worse. If you couldn't tell, we do drink alcohol on the show. If you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, though, let us know in the chat and we'll give some early show shoutouts as we go along. And if you like the content you see on this show and want to help support us in what we do, consider joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description, patreon.com/craftcomputing. Modest contribution gets you access to my exclusive Discord server where you can chat directly with myself as well as all the other hosts on Talking Heads and join the awesome community that hangs out over there.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You've tried before, but
tried and failed.
Yes. Rett, how you doing? You haven't been on in like over a month.
Been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. How you been, sir?
It's been good. Living the dream, the Oregon dream. We recently had a smoke-free summer, and now we don't. So
yeah, and all of a sudden we're back on top, baby.
Like, granted, like all of the biggest fires in the country were here, but you and I had the benefit of
an easterly wind, if
you
will.
The protection of fate and the gods, perhaps, but no longer. Portland today had the worst sky. What do you call it? AQI sky. Anyway, air quality, whatever. In the country.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Back on top, baby.
So back in 2021, Oregon actually set the record for worst air quality on record ever. We topped the chart so hard we broke their chart. Like they didn't have numbers that go high enough to describe the horrendous air quality that we saw there. Now, since that time, I know there's been a couple of places that have beat it. I believe Michigan beat us at one point. I know Ontario did. There's been a couple places that have topped us. So I'm sure this year we might get that back, though, unfortunately. Like, this isn't even fire season yet in Oregon, and we are in horrendous shape moving forward. It's going to be a rough couple of months.
Luckily, I hear that there's no problem getting the federal money required to help fight these fires and keep our homes and livelihoods safe. So that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Everything should be good, man.
Yeah, all those federal response dollars for environmental disasters, apparently those only work in red states. We're not getting political tonight.
Yeah, not at all, Jeff. Why would we do that? I mean, this week has so much good news to focus on instead. So let's hit it,
Vince chimes in with $10. Thank you very much. Vince over Circle Rewind. TCP444, simple network paging protocol. Yes, paging. That paging. We're that old. Better grab them IRL save icons while you still can. I never myself had a pager, but I did adopt SMS very early on. I never saw the point of a pager as soon as you could SMS with phones. Like, it was stupid to oh yeah, let me pay you $17 a month for my pager that you can only send a phone number on. Or if you have the Windows application, better yet, you can send me a very short text message. Guess what? I can get that on my phone now. Now, it costs me 10, 20 cents a message, but you can just text me now. Yeah, I never had a pager. And I know you're not that much younger than me, but it feels like a pager would have been even something that would have passed you by, like adult.
I mean, I don't think I would have ever had a pager, but my parents had pagers and stuff,
Yeah.
so yeah, it wasn't that crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm last in line of the potential pager purchasers.
Right. Yeah.
I was in line and there was no one behind me. It's gonna be a good show. The show notes started off with nothing but terrible, terrible news, and we've done this a couple of times already this year, where it's like, oh, I can only talk about the memory crisis and GPU prices and how everything sucks so much. Let's find some different news to talk about tonight. I don't know that we did, but we've got a couple good topics in here. Microsoft saying token maxing is not our company philosophy, but we are still AI first. Whatever that means. I think it just means please stop burning our money. We've got obviously price increases for graphics cards, this time upwards of 30% from NVIDIA, and board partners, including Gigabyte, are threatening even higher. Hank Green is in the news this week for allegedly being caught using AI. But this is a huge can of worms discussion. I don't think it's as cut and dry as some of the articles.
Can we say allegedly when he like comes out and...
No, I guess allegedly was not the right word, because he did actually issue a fairly lengthy apology and whatnot. But I think there's more to this story than creator uses AI, creator apologizes. Like I think there's so many more layers to that. We'll dive into that a little bit. Oh, and God, I forgot. Do we just want to get this out of the way now, or should I make you wait the entire show? Because we have Morrowind news.
Let's get it out of the way at the top. Why else is anybody here? I mean,
yeah. Morrowind. Yes, that Morrowind is now playable in a browser. Now, before I click over to this and give you the open floor, I do have a beer to open.
Oh, I do too.
Okay.
Yeah, this is important.
Yeah.
Like Morrowind is great, but beer always comes first.
Ooh,
I got Tropical Fresh IPA. And it's very tropical. If nobody's ever had this, it's like pineapple in a can with alcohol.
It's delicious. Yeah. If you really like ciders, specifically like pineapple ciders and tapachas and things like that, and you want to know what IPAs taste like, this is a phenomenal gateway into like, oh, that's what a hop profile is. Oh, that's got some depth, some bitterness. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
That is such a
very
good.
I'm
gonna say Rett. Should I go with a blonde ale or a black lager?
Oh, well, black lagers are my favorite, but I feel like it's a blonde ale kind of day.
Is it a blonde ale kind of day? Okay.
It does feel that way.
Okay.
But
because I have two beers on my desk. I have another beer to my left that, depending on the direction of the show, I might crack open later. So
maybe we start with the blonde ale, then we let the color of our beer follow the color of the stories that we cover.
Okay, I like that. Black is my heart. All right, so blonde ale. This is from Brewery X in the Ontario International Airport.
Nice.
This is Come Fly With Me Blonde Ale, and this was kindly donated to the channel by a friend of the show, Aaron. So thank you very much, Aaron. 5% flat.
Perfect.
I will say, yesterday, about 1 in the afternoon, I was in Astoria at the Fort George Brewery, having a 3-way IPA double hazy. That was phenomenal.
Delish.
And man, this beer's all head. All right. Is everyone buckled up? Let's see. We got a Quaba Twilight Ale, 5.2% from Cyano. I did see Cody got a pizza in the oven, Tito's vodka, and tonic in my glass. You know, vodka tonic sounds really good tonight, too. Ordinary dude having coffee and a donut before I dig into a friend's PC. They're getting a Wi-Fi card upgrade.
Nice.
Let's see. Tom looks different tonight. Rev cracking into a Black Butte 38 from Deschutes, Bend, Oregon. Nice. Port barrel aged Imperial Porter brewed with chocolate, orange peel, vanilla, and cranberries. 10.5. I have not had this year's Black Butte yet. So
sounds good.
Yeah. I am looking forward to that.
Sayano Hibiki. It's got a Kawaba Twilight Ale, 5.2%.
Nice.
Jason with a Voodoo Ranger Sweet Ride Hazy IPA, 6.5%.
Solid.
That's all I see.
All right. Cool. Rev says this year's Black Butte is fire. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's always fire, but that one is orange peel and cranberries and a porter. Oh.
Soon Black Butte could be on fire too, so there you go.
There's also that. All right. This one, I think, describes itself. So take it away, Rev.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls Morrowind, now playable in browser, thanks to a clever dev and an open source project. And see, this is my first thought too. The subtitle is Morrowind the new Doom. And unfortunately, Morrowind will never have like the breakaway kind of break of containment that Doom has had as far as the memes. But
yeah,
it is up there in heart. So
I think the thought is right, but Doom is the perfect combination of low-level hardware requirements, small file size, a more ubiquitous fan base, even though they're roughly the same age. I mean, Morrowind came out in 98? Doom came out
2002.
2002 was Morrowind 2002? Oh, that's I'm thinking of Daggerfall. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Doom's got 8 years on Morrowind. And they're just two different classes of games. Like if people could start porting the original Mario Brothers over to things, I think that would catch on. But I do like the idea of getting things running on hardware they were never intended to run on, though. Like that just makes me smile on such a deep level.
Yeah, it's fun and it's cool. And, you know, one of the things that makes stuff like this kind of fun is that like Morrowind has been, I think, saved for posterity via OpenMW with like the you know, open source re-implementation, but the game itself is aging, and there is the question of like how much longer can we play it? We can play it forever now with OpenMW, but this makes it even easier. Theoretically, you could play it on your like Chromebook or whatever now. It opens up the door to a lot more opportunity for people who've never played it before, which is cool. So I'm all about it. And I always kind of love, like, I know that he's a developer or whatever, but one of my favorite things about all modern Morrowind news is that they always include somebody's like Reddit handle. You know,
yes.
Like here we have you/dumpster buddy who says that they're planning to add mod support, and I just think that that's so hilarious. Like it's like even in the Morrowind video I did on Craft Extra years ago, like a lot of the lore and things that I was plucking from was like old web articles where they had like tracked down some old Reddit post, talked to the guy about what he was doing, and yeah. I just think that that's charming that it's still going on. So
yeah, according to Reddit user Dirty Love Handles or something.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So there you folks have it.
There we
play
go.
Some Morrowind.
A little Morrowind news. Go play some Morrowind.
it's just out there ripe for the playing, you know? I mean, look, they could release Skyrim again, but you've played it.
Yeah.
Okay? Game's been out for 15 years.
Yep.
So it's time. Go back. That's all I have to say about that.
It sickens me to think that we're further away from Skyrim's initial release than Skyrim was from Morrowind's official release. By a
Yeah,
lot.
and think about what the like technical sort of like achievement that Skyrim felt like over Morrowind, right? Like graphically much more compelling and other things.
If you were born the day Skyrim released, you can now officially play it based off its ESRB rating and get your learner's permit. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
And in November, you'll be able to drive. Nope. Don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It is kind of one of those things that's funny. I guess I don't understand what the holdup is, because I do think that when you have games like this, obviously like pushing the graphical envelope was always like a big selling point. But I don't know, maybe the last time I was on the show we talked a lot about what the true hardware requirements were for like Steam's top like 100 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that it's demonstrated over and over that like top-notch graphical fidelity is not a requirement for people to enjoy and play the games. Like people are still playing Skyrim and it like kind of the base graphics look like ass compared to how we perceived them back in 2011.
Yeah.
And granted, like we have a whole slew of mods and modders and things that are out there like reissuing texture packs and doing what they can to make the game look sharp. That was like even common 10 years ago in Morrowind when I would constantly play, like before OpenMW came out, like the Morrowind graphic overhaul mod was like a must.
Yeah.
And it gave you like high texture
High res textures and
thanks.
Yeah.
High res textures and stuff, but still looked like Morrowind.
Right.
But,
yeah, I was never that into like the Morrowind modding scene. Like I played Morrowind pretty extensively, but I played it just as the game that existed, and it Morrowind never had the same hook into me as some other games. But like when Oblivion came out, oh man, I was in Oblivion.
Yeah.
And that's when I really got into the modding scene and things like that. I'm also kind of the opinion that I think we overmod things in the idea that different equals better, when sometimes no.
Yeah.
Like I look back and I look at some of my Skyrim mod lists and whatnot. Like I had 70 mods installed, and then I went back years later and I went, what do I really need? I want Sky UI. And I would like the lighting to be a little bit better. So I like the immersion of needing a torch when you're traveling at night. And so I had like the realistic lighting pack.
Yeah.
And I think I installed those 2 mods and that was it. I didn't install anything else. And that made Skyrim just great.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think like, you know, after I played a lot of the base game on Skyrim, like a lot of those like survival mods like really interested me. Kind of gave it some new life, but yeah, I don't know. And it's interesting because on one hand, if it weren't for mods, you know, Morrowind would not be like as popular still as it is.
Mm-hmm.
You have the big ambitious projects like Tamriel Rebuilt, stuff like that that's still been churning out new content for years and years, and like yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. And again, like some mods get legs of their own. You know, granted, I don't think you have anything quite the same level, but you know, that's like Gary's mod. You know, think like Gary's mod, just like a complete runaway success. I think, compared to what anybody thought it would be. And you get games like Counter-Strike out of the mod scene, and games like what was another one? I don't know. That's all I can think of, I guess. But
Yeah,
there you go.
Gary's
Mods.
mod still number 54 today. Actually outranked Red Dead Redemption this week in total plays.
See, and there was a time on Steam when it was really fun to just go on and find the free mods of Half-Life 2 and like see what kind of games were like available.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of really fun multiplayer. Yeah, Dota was a mod. Yeah, of course. That should have been my go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyways,
Anyway, little Morrowind news to
yeah.
satiate.
Hooray! We did it.
All right, can we get on to things people actually care about now? And that is, look, I linked this article, and Bloomberg, being Bloomberg, decided that no, you've read your one free article for the week. Hold on, let me drag this window up. Subscribe to Bloomberg now for unlimited access via the Bloomberg app. And it's like, look, you gave it to me once for free, which means I can read it for free because I can record it using a tape deck. I'll time transfer because that's a FCC guideline. Cool. I'm just going to use a paywall bypass service. There we go. Microsoft's AI sales mostly come from OpenAI.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah, you know that cyclical money, cups and balls routine that we talk about? It's estimated that nearly 70% of Microsoft's AI income is from OpenAI, specifically for training OpenAI models.
Nice.
The other interesting thing is that AI products only represent 9% of Microsoft's income right now. Of their total revenue
Nice.
for the fiscal year. That was the big nugget that I took out of this is like, look, it's one thing to throw around the billions of dollars in revenue from AI, software and whatnot. Microsoft recorded 24.1 billion in sales from OpenAI during the year extended in June. Microsoft's March reporting says that their AI division recorded 37 billion, and that 24 billion was part of the 37 billion.
Okay.
But if you scroll down a little bit more, where was it at? OpenAI's share of Microsoft business looks much smaller, less than 10% when set against total revenue. OpenAI's 24 billion was less than 10% of Microsoft's total revenue. Which means even with the great AI push, there's not a lot of revenue being generated by these companies in the first place. I mean, in respect to their overall revenue numbers. Yeah, but how much of their CapEx? Yeah, that was not well defined in this, is how much was the rollout of Microsoft's AI products.
Right.
I mean, obviously, a couple of weeks ago we saw at AMD's Advancing AI that Microsoft is partnering with AMD with rollouts of MI455X, their new double-wide purpose-built AI data center racks. So yeah, how much of that CapEx is coming directly out of their AI division? I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I had other thoughts. I was trying to... Nope. Gone. I had something I was trying to transition to.
Yeah.
I thought staring at the page longer might help, and then it became awkward.
No, it's the moment of silence that this story deserves. Yeah, I just think it goes to show you just how interesting it's just confirming more of like what we already know, what we already see so much of, and I don't know exactly what it entails because you follow one side of the discourse and it's been entailing something for a long time. Meanwhile, the horse gallops onward
Yeah.
and no sign of slowing or stagnation or anything like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, look, eventually it's going to crash. Now, a crash is going to be a very slow motion train wreck in which a lot of companies that don't have a profit model go out of business, but companies that do have a profit model for it scoop up what's left. I'm not saying that AI in its current state and current trajectory is going to remain the same as far as capex and things like that. It's going to drop off, whether it's 70% of what it is today or 10% of what it is today. But it's going to be around. I don't think the tools that we've developed in the last specifically 12 months with things like Claude for coding and Mythos for hunting for exploits and whatnot, those tools themselves are too valuable to just, we're not going to build data centers anymore, because those are good tools and they're going to be used. They're going to be used quite frequently. But it's all the image generation crap and all the nonsense and all the noise that I think is going to fade into obscurity and then possibly just completely fade away entirely. So what does AI rollout look like in 2029? I wish I knew, because I'd be a billionaire today. If I had the answer. But what I can tell you is right now, based on what Microsoft is reporting, AI makes up, well, if OpenAI makes up for less than 10% of Microsoft's overall revenue, and 37 billion is their overall, or 24 billion was what OpenAI contributed, that would equate to what, 240 billion in revenue for the company as a whole. Is Microsoft going to continue chasing 9%? With the capex of 50% of their entire business, if not more, on the promise that they might grow to 12%? Probably not. Yeah. It's going to crash like the internet did in the 90s and 2000s. Companies never recovered, the tech is gone and lost forever. Right. Yeah, like, look, the dot-com bomb was a thing because it outgrew the profitability of the technology at the time. But you might have heard of companies like Amazon and eBay that were around in 1998 and figured out how to create solid business models using this newfangled internet thing just fine. Like, it's going to crash because the bring your pet back to life as an AI companion companies will go out of business.
Well, it's an interesting
But
example,
Anthropic probably won't.
That is an interesting example with Amazon, though, because like you could make the case that like without the physical element of their business, there was no like profitability, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like they were actually like providing something useful and building it off. Well, and building it though off of the back of infrastructure that was physical and like already in place. And like same with eBay. That's another good, it's like eBay's like, giving people a service that they want and need and exists kind of off of its own infrastructure. Yeah, I don't know.
Cosworth sends over a $5 super chat. I'm going to say thank you until I finish reading this. I've been flogging someone's NVIDIA-based servers after being asked to test them by someone. AI at home is nice for picking out house paint colors. Now, the story to this is I gave a couple people VPN access to my NVIDIA DG10, my Dell GB10 boxes in a cluster. So 256 gigs of unified memory on a 400 gig cluster. I did that so you could research and develop Fluxer and Matrix code to see if we could reach feature parity with Discord, not so you could pick your freaking house colors. You're burning my electricity.
Well, they couldn't work on Fluxer without figuring out the color for their house, man. It's not fair. Sometimes you got to clear one task so you can make room for another.
The vibe was just off.
Yeah, they ain't getting any work done in when the color is mauve.
Yeah. Oh, that's puce. Meanwhile, over at Microsoft, Microsoft tells its engineers that token maxing is not what we're optimizing for, but still says we want to be an AI-first company.
Oh, nice.
I just love the juxtaposition about this whole thing, because we've all seen the, oh, we have to pay for tokens now? Ooh, scale backs in multiple businesses. And it turns out that this month it's Microsoft's turn to realize that maybe not setting your CPIs or your reporting indexes or whatever to who used the most tokens is the most valuable piece of research and data that you should be collecting about your efficiency. Because apparently tokens cost money.
Who would have thought? Sounds like they want to have their cake and eat it too.
Okay, sorry. I started a whole thing in the comments. Yocto says, at Craft Computing, burning my electricity, pot, meat, kettle. To be fair, that was my hardware eating your electricity. In Cosworth's case, it's my hardware eating my electricity. But point taken. I believe during my AI experiment on the V100 server, I used 535 kilowatt hours.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
And then Rev chimes up. Wow, you gave Cosworth access and didn't even give your own admin? All right. Look, I've said that AI access and server access is coming, and this was part of that beta test. So, look, Rev, if you got a use case, speak up. I'll give you I'll let you burn it at Yocto's. This sounds like a great middle ground.
Of course he has a use case. He needs to pick some paint colors.
Right. Yeah, Rev, tell me what you want to do, and I will fire up the V100 box again. Two can play at that game. And if we do it right, you might even be able to hear that server from Cosworth's. So we can at the very least irritate him too. Rev wants to use AI to pick his fantasy lineup. And this wasn't even in the cards today, but this popped up on the sidebar here on 444 Media. Google Earth's new AI tool lets anyone fabricate complete bullshit satellite imagery. I did see that story, and that one almost made the cut today, just from how freaking hilarious it was. Who would have thought that altering what are basically historical photographs from Google Earth would have negative consequences, or that people would start spreading fake news with that? Weird.
Yeah. And Dai Chang here, he says, what do they even mean by AI first? And I think that's one of the more interesting elements of like that wording in general, is that it just doesn't mean anything.
That is paradigm shifting to insert buzzword here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of funny because I didn't think about it until he said it. So kudos to him. Yocto says clearly AI first, they mean alphabetically. But it is fun. It's funny because it's like it's one of those words that I think like signals to investors like, see, we're on the inside, invest. But to everyone else, it doesn't say anything, so they're safe.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know.
I mean, someone on, I saw a post on Bluesky earlier this week. Someone said, we've changed all of our loading screens to say thinking instead. Now seeking investment dollars as an agentic AI company.
Oh, God.
Green sends over $5. No one would dare remote into Jeff's hardware to play video games.
Never.
Actually, we have before. I got my mods all involved. We did a 7-player Crisis round on one of my early cloud gaming servers. I don't know if the footage ever made it into a video, although I do have a pretty epic B-roll clip somewhere of Skull taking a rocket to the face. Cosworth sends over $2. Thank you very much, sir. Hooray, can't wait for our adversaries to use that. Yeah.
See, and that's the thing that's kind of funny about it all is like you were saying it earlier, like this tool is useful for developing tools and this tool is useful for finding exploits. And I'm like, and isn't it so funny? They just go and go and go in circles. Like one is developing and one is finding the exploits. And it's like, and it's just an interesting element to this whole thing is that like, okay, sure, it adds something, but it also adds the negative, which then it also solves. I don't know.
I mean,
I tell the story all the time about this ES, venture where they're like, yeah, but don't all the like bad actors have this stuff too? So is it really like adding 1 million workers to your workforce when you also have like now 1 million bad actors trying to exploit you using this same tool?
It's never been about adding 1 million workers to your workforce. That's always been bullshit. Like that's never going to come to fruition. I will say it does enhance productivity. For your already skilled workers. They have to be skilled in the thing that they're doing. It's not going to create an army of super mutants out of people like me or Rett. Like, that's not...
Yep.
Perfect segue into the PDX LAN rack. Yes. So... Yocto and I have been trying for a couple of years to figure out how we can show off some fun stuff at PDX LAN. We got permission to bring a whole frickin' rack.
Nice.
And so we are planning on bringing a rack to PDX LAN with 8 gaming nodes on it. Potentially more than that because... Well, no. I guess the cards we are using are going to be single node. Yeah, they're 4000 series. So, okay. Yeah, we're going to have a Ceph cluster there that provides all the game storage. We're going to have a private LAN to hook up the thin clients. The VMs themselves will be on the main network with the rest of the LAN so they can access... multiplayer with the rest of the open subnet. Yeah, we're bringing some fun stuff. Couple of 32 core AMD EPYC high frequency chips. Some Genoa, what was it? 5.2 gigahertz, I think, on 32 cores. Like, there's going to be some spicy stuff in there. And we also paid for 240 volt power, so we've got a full 30 amps to us. So that should be fun. Video coming out on that with the whole project and the build, and then we're gonna let people also game on it at the LAN.
Nice.
So some people will be using exclusively that via remote. Other people will let like remote in, and if they want to give it. Take it for a whirl, they're more than welcome to. So, Should be
Right.
really, really fun. Let's see. Vince sends over $5. Thank you very much again. AI, the real cause of and solution to all life's problems. The coolers for those CPUs are going to cost more than the rack chassis and the rails. Yeah. So, that should be fun. Speaking of all this AI stuff, because look, we just talked about programming, we talked about useful tools with AI, we talked about non-use cases of AI, we talked, about, hey, maybe Google Earth shouldn't let people modify images directly off of Google Earth because, they'll put in meteor strikes and nuclear towers in Iran and things like that. Like, maybe that's a bad thing, right? I do also love that the 7 changes to a T right here. I'm just pointing that out. Almost like Flock shouldn't be recording license plate numbers. But we've talked about all these use cases for AI. I haven't ever talked directly about... Well, I have. I guess on my AMD Ryzen Halo video, I did talk a little bit about, like, I'm not going to use AI to write for me. My words are my words. Words have meaning. That is something that is deeply, deeply important to me. But does that mean as a creator I'm not allowed to use AI tools? Where's the line? This week, novelist, comedian, YouTuber, vlog brother, Hank Green, was... I don't know if caught is used the right word, but used AI for a podcast that he was having. He was on a podcast, and he had a binder full of notes, and in one of the responses he gave, he said, I appreciate the push. Yeah, here it is. So Hank Green, you know him, you probably love him. Used the phrase, I appreciate the pushback, in a video posted to the educational channel Complexity. Now, the video in question is an hour-long video of a live conversation between Hank and Georgie on a variety of different topics, from the potency of aspartame to why don't pickles taste like cucumbers, and does Hank Green shave his butt? That was also part of it.
Does he?
I don't know. I didn't watch that section of the video.
Damn it.
But my question is, really, this is the video that Hank Green is being called out for using AI, when it seems like the AI used to be, like, for note-taking or for research purposes. He's sitting here having a live conversation for over an hour with someone with no electronic device nearby.
Yeah.
And simply in his notes, he had written down, I appreciate the pushback.
Oh, wait. But so how, in his notes, he said that?
He did live say on camera, I appreciate the pushback.
Did he say that on this video?
In this video.
Oh, so I guess, like, so people were calling him out for, like, past videos or whatever.
No, they're calling him out for this video because that's a phrase that is typically used with AI when you say, hey, I don't think that's true. And it goes, I appreciate the pushback.
So what was the pushback about?
The pushback is that he used AI.
Oh. Was it, so did this all happen live or something? I guess I don't understand. Because my understanding was like that people were like putting together a pattern from like previous videos and then like challenged him on it.
No,
And then he used the AI generated response like in response to it, which was like
no.
toned down.
This was him saying live in a 1 hour video, I appreciate the pushback.
Gotcha.
Now, it was directly in response to something Georgie had said. But that one phrase is like a canary in a coal mine to a lot of people. When they see that, or if you're reading an article and you see an M dash these days, or like there's some telltale markers that almost all AI writing has.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, in prompting, one of the things you'll see is you'll tell GPT, I don't think that's right, and it'll go, oh, I appreciate the pushback.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Okay. So
Gotcha.
for
See, I
that
don't use it
reason-
enough to know.
So for that reason, he was called out for using AI. And his response, like credit to Hank Green, was actually pretty darn good. He
always has good responses.
yeah, he posted an in-depth apology. Like here's him on Reddit. This is his response comment.
Oh, so it's pretty small. I'm just kidding.
Right. Now he also posted on Twitter, I produced this video under a ton of pressure, so I went and checked my process from start to finish. Now, this is him under the accusation of using GPT to, like, do all of his writing and things like that, because he used that one phrase in a 1 hour long video.
Now, can I say that, you know what? I'll let you go about, I got a concern just from the first sentence here, but we'll get to it. I guess.
Yeah. We'll break this down here in a sec. I did use ChatGPT for research on this script, and watching it, I definitely get an AI feel. So I think it's fair to say I was relying too much on generated notes. That's a thing I've been doing, and it's a bad habit at a time when I've overcommitted myself. But I just went to the notes and the script for this, and neither contained the I appreciate the pushback line. So that particular moment was an ad-lib in reference to my guest pushing back on me saying the words are purely made up. So again, that wasn't even a phrase in his notes. He simply said that phrase. And is being accused of now being a fake actor, false, lying to us all, and how dare you, and all this. And
Well, I do think that part of the general pushback, I'm not like a huge Hank Green stan or a John Green stan.
neither am I.
I don't. Occasionally, he comes up in my shorts, and I like some of his videos. But the perception that I get from him a lot of times is that he's like fairly anti-AI.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he's like using it at all is kind of like a shock to me. And perhaps this isn't on him. This is just a parasocial thing that, we all develop with the creators that we watch or come across our feeds on a routine basis. But it's like, it almost feels like a little bit, maybe like a betrayal. It's like, here I thought this guy who was so vocal against this and has all of like the notes about the circular funding loop and the private equity sort of garbage that goes into funding this whole scheme.
He's done videos on how much water the data centers actually use. Like right. He's fully on board the anti-data center and blah, blah, blah. And I think you're right. I think this feels like a betrayal.
Yeah. That water video did come, like, I do remember that one coming up, and it was actually like, oh, I guess they use less water than we all think that they do. He was pretty thorough in that one, but yeah, it does feel like, and maybe that's just a shortcoming of me. I don't know if anybody else watches, the Greens more than that. They can chime in and chat. Yeah. Because this is just my perception,
he's been moving towards pro AI.
Oh, so... But here's
the thing. Here's the thing. I think those phrases are, trying to think of a word that's not a swear, but is expletive implied. I think those phrases are stupid.
Like pro AI?
Pro AI, anti AI.
Yeah.
I think
Well, it's kind of like the binary that we put into any like political choice, right? It's
Right.
like,
You're either left or right. You're this, you're that. You're pro gun or you're,
yeah.
a tree hugging liberal. Like,
Or you always hear like critics of abortion frame it as like pro-abortion. It's like
pro life. Yeah. Pro
yeah,
life versus pro killing kids. Yeah.
right, yeah.
That
So
kind of.
yeah,
Look, maybe there's more hyperbole to this and more nuance in a situation. Let's break this down a little bit. Um, I have been accused of being on both sides of this fence, of being very pro AI, and I can't believe you're jerking off NVIDIA by going to GTC, and I can't believe you produced a video that said, is AI even usable? When the results from that video were me just trying something new, and it didn't even give me a good answer, but it definitely did something. And then people went, wow, I can't believe you're so pro AI now. It's like, I didn't even get anything usable out of that. But it did help me look in the right direction for where a problem existed. And so, yes, maybe. But I have said repeatedly, my words will always be my words. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not interested in things like generating AI backgrounds or doing, video effects in post with the help of AI tools that can help me like produce a better ad or higher quality whatever that we happen to be doing. Like our lightsaber duel, how cool would that have been had we like done, virtual production and been able to like be on Mustafar or something like that, with the lightsabers rather than just that in the background. Like,
right.
But I'm also not going to pay someone to do video production for me. Like it is just me in this office. And so could I use an AI tool that's readily available to replace the background of a video to help my artistic vision of a scene come to life, even if it's AI generated in a sense? Because I'm certainly not going to spend 400 hours learning how to properly key a green screen. Corridor key. Corridor key is an AI tool. It's an AI tool that was developed to help with a problem that everyone has had a problem with since the inception of chroma keying, and that's that chroma keying sucks. And now there's an AI tool. Is that AI tool bad because it used machine learning to achieve the goal? Or is it now just a tool in the toolbox? Like, where's the line? Am I pro AI because I like corridor key? Or am I anti-AI and no, make sure we enslave an intern to hand key all of these assets and then remove any green spill? Like, here's a fun thing. Okay. I took these screenshots today. I took a collection of screenshots like 20 minutes before the show started, of what is AI and how is it being used and things like that. We had another article on the Hank Green, it was this article on the. Did I open that one up? Hold on. Ars Technica had an article. Where did that one go? Hold on, I'll find it. There it is. I want to give them credit for this one. Ars Technica had an article. Hank Green found the AI problem that YouTube labels can't catch. And this is written about AI's current requirement that any AI-generated content be flagged. And that is, when a creator uses AI to meaningfully alter or generate photorealistic content, a la deepfakes or a person saying something they never said or an event that never happened.
Or as outlined in that article too, generated music.
Or generated music, right.
Yeah, which isn't necessarily photorealistic, but...
Yeah. The policy draws some strange boundaries. It applies to AI-generated music, which is not photorealistic or defined by any of the words in their statement, but not to writing a unicorn through a fantastical world, because even though that could be photorealistic, it's not plausible. So I can use an AI-generated tool to put myself into a fantasy realm, but I can't use it to generate beep boops in a background track. Got it. Realistic AI content and meaningful changes require disclosure, while non-realistic or minor edits do not. What's a minor edit versus what's a major edit?
Yeah.
You know, if I turn on a beauty filter, that doesn't require disclosure. Like, the line is so incredibly blurred. And I will say, this article, like so many articles these days, has like a very negative inflection on like anything AI generated is bad. Okay. Well, let's go through some screenshots that I captured 20 minutes before this show started. When most people think of AI generated imagery, they think this. This is an ad that I received on Reddit from Adobe. Create a vintage action shot worthy of an 80s magazine cover. All it takes is your selfie and a prompt. Hey, look how awesome she looks in that thing. That's totally worth your Creative Commons or your Creative Cloud subscription, right? Cool. This is what people think about. Well, let's look at some actual YouTube tools, because YouTube deployed recently a whole slew of tools. Okay. Let's go to my YouTube studio. And let's go to a comment section. Let's click the little 3-button main menu for a comment. The number 2 option now is brainstorm video ideas, in which you will take a random YouTube comment, plug it into Gemini along with the title of your video, and brainstorm a new video idea, including Gemini doing all the research for you. Does this need a disclosure? Does this need an AI-generated disclosure under YouTube's policy? Or no? Is doing research with an AI okay, and taking notes okay, and is scripting okay, but being on camera and saying words that you did or didn't write? Where's the line? Can someone define that line for me? Let's go a little deeper. If you don't want to read through all of your users' comments on your videos, good news. After 24 hours, this button is available, in which it will summarize all of the comments you've received on a video. So you don't have to bother yourself reading through the rabble. By the way, I still read every comment. I always have and I always will. It's a sickness. I probably need to stop. But I read every comment because I genuinely care about what people say about my videos. I genuinely appreciate feedback, positive or negative. So, does this need a disclosure? Let's move on. Hey, there's a new button under the YouTube analytics. Catch me up on this video. Rather than reading the analytics and graphs yourself, let us read the graphs and tell you what they say. There's a button for that now. Plug into Gemini. Let's go further. This is YouTube's creator beta for music. This is the very front page that you get to when you go to their music beta, and it's generate a 60-second free music loop. So music that's made to repeat itself on a 60-second loop. Describe your video and the type of music you're looking for. Try something like repetitive melody that creates an eerie, unsettling atmosphere, or bubbly, optimistic cyber pizza party music at the underwater arcade.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
That's stupid.
But does this require a disclosure because it's just a backing track?
Yeah, I mean, the strict stance that I would take is that, yeah, I'd like to know, but maybe not realistic, maybe not constructive, maybe not useful to what the mission of YouTube is in general. My mission is vastly different than YouTube's mission.
But
and they benefit from, we talk about how blurry their guidelines are. Mm-hmm. They benefit from blurry guidelines.
Yeah.
And clearly they're not anti-AI, Yeah. And so it's kind of an interesting deflection, or I don't know, maybe like a misinterpretation of like the issue with Hank Green that Ars Technica even brought up YouTube's guidelines to begin with.
Right.
Because it's not like just because you violate YouTube's guidelines that there's like some moral failure, right? There's a lot of things that YouTube doesn't allow. Like you can't really do content about like firearms or whatever. You can't
Yeah.
do like lewd content necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, are those things like morally wrong? There's probably some permutations of it that are.
Users also have this button to summarize the video contents too. Does that end up cutting into your ad revenue? Yes, it does.
Yeah, somebody
100%
asked that earlier. They said they wanted your opinion about that. Where did that go? Yeah, Manus J1 says, since you're talking AI, can you touch on how the AI overview button affects your bottom line? What are your thoughts on that?
We generate revenue and discoverability anymore, not based on number of clicks, but based on watch time. The amount of time a user spends watching my video. If I am doing educational content, which is primarily what I do here on this channel, and someone can get a summary of the descriptors from me or the opinions of my review on something in 5 seconds without ever watching my video, that means that's a valid click with 5 seconds of watch time. And when you produce 30-minute videos, 20-minute videos, that absolutely tanks your perceived value to the platform.
This was something I remember hearing about, and obviously everybody's kind of aware of it just given the conversation in chat, but this is like something I remember hearing about when we went to Computex, and Adam Patrick Murray primarily is doing journalism in the written space, and the fact that Google AI overview was detracting clicks because suddenly people could Google something, they could get an overview of it without ever clicking on anybody's links.
Yep.
And they had already seen like noticeable decline in traffic. And I don't know, I haven't talked to him about that since. It's been over a year. Has it gotten better? Has it gotten worse? Have you found a way to cope? But it was certainly an issue a year ago. And I think it probably continues to be a problem. And it's annoying because of the amount of real estate that Google AI overview takes up to begin with. Is that like even myself, who like can easily be described as anti-AI, find myself reading it quite a bit just on accident, because the knee-jerk reaction when you're trying to Google something quickly is like, and it's like, oh crap. Like, I almost have to go straight to like the Wikipedia page now just to avoid inadvertently, depriving somebody of clicks.
But I guess the biggest question here is, again, coming back down to the user comment or the user chat that kind of set me off, and that is, what did they say? Hank Green is definitely more pro AI today. Yeah, I'm more pro AI than I used to be. That doesn't mean I like data centers going in places. That doesn't mean I'm, full bore writing scripts with AI. That doesn't mean I'm doing all these things. I see value in some of the tool sets, but I fail to see the actual benefit of them right now. Case in point, like, I have used AI very seldom for video content here. What I have had it do is help me parse down specific segments, particularly for ad reads. I don't use AI at all in main video content, in scripting, at all. Period, end of discussion. I have used it before for help me do a 30-second ad read about these three, about this company and these three subjects. Because it is a much more efficient tool for getting the length of something down right and getting all your points in than I am. And I don't feel like in an advertisement it needs to be 100% my words necessarily. It just needs to deliver the message that the brand wants to deliver. And so that's a little bit different. But when it switches over to main video content, Those are my words, my opinion, my speaking. And that I don't want to compromise. Even if I get things wrong, I don't want to compromise it. Like, so I won't use it for scripting. I have used it for, there was a point last year where I did 4 sponsored videos in a week, and I needed them to be structurally different, even though we were covering very similar things. And I didn't want the videos to feel like it was cookie cutter. And so I actually did prompt AI, hey, give me 4 different video outlines for a way to do this content where I cover the same things, but I can flow them from one to the other. And you know what I did with that information? I took the basic bullet outline that it gave me, and then I wrote a script by hand. Because those are my words. When it comes to research, when it comes to figuring out how things work, I think AI is huge because it can find data more readily available than you can. Now, it's still up to you to interpret that data. But it can find answers faster than you can. It's also up to you to verify those answers and verify they're real and go to the papers that it links and make sure that the white papers or the published documents are actually, number 1, there, and number 2, say what the AI said they said. But it can be an incredible search tool and an incredible tool for taking notes and summarizing meetings. That's another thing, is when I started this Zoom call tonight to link us together so we could talk on this show, Zoom pops up with a thing that says, note taking is now available. Click to enable take notes. Do you know what that does? That transcribes everything that we say, and then will generate notes at the end of the meeting based on who said what and actionable items. Is that wrong? Where's the line? Where's the don't use AI, but it's okay in this place, but not okay in this place, and definitely not okay in this place, but it's definitely okay in this place? Like, no one knows. No one can define it other than AI good or AI bad.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. I think it comes down to trust, number 1.
Well, I think that's what the whole Hank Green thing is about.
Yeah.
And trust is what I think like boils down to my own anti-AI sentiments in general. Part of it is that like I don't ever want there to be a question if this comes up of whether or not I used AI.
Right.
People can go look at my track record and hear me shit talk it for years, you know. And sometimes I'm softer on it when the topic at hand requires it, you know. I'm capable of having a little bit more nuance and things like that. But like the rest, like, let it be known, I don't use it. I don't use the tools. I try to de-Google my life more than ever now because of these things. And sorry, we're having a debate about free will in the chat. I don't know if anybody is paying attention to what's going on there, but
this is a funny one. Mr. Cheese from Chips and Cheese says, Kraft, do you want to piss off NVIDIA? I don't care if I piss off NVIDIA. And that's frankly the truth. I don't care if I piss off NVIDIA. I don't care if I piss off AMD. If I say something that is counter to their business model, but that makes a lot of sense for the people I'm representing, screw it, I'll say it. That's why these companies respect me. That's why I get invited to these things. Is not because I lick their frickin' boots. It's because I'm not afraid to stand up to their PR people and go, no, you guys are full of crap here. I've done it with all 3 of these companies. I have pushed back on multiple things. And they've all respected me throughout the years. And I've never had any problems, even when I've said things very, very critical of all 3 companies. Last September, Intel invited a bunch of creators and journalists and analysts down to their facility in Chandler, Arizona to show off 18A node processing, and gave us a factory tour and things like that, and gave us Lego models of the new Xeon and mobile CPUs that we could take home, and we could see all the packaging. And do you know what I did? I said, I think Intel is outthinking the room on their packaging. I think they took the concept of CPU tiling, which is the idea to disaggregate your CPU design and make it essentially a modular system like Lego. So you go, oh, I need 8 cores and 6 graphics cores and a bunch of PCI Express and a memory controller and a bunch of other things, and you put it onto a package, and you go, look how much money I saved by not developing 28 different monolithic CPU packages. And instead, Intel assembled them in the most convoluted way possible. They now have more CPU modules for Lunar Lake than AMD makes in total for their entire product line. And I said, I don't know if this is actually the direction Intel wants to go, or if this was an engineering showcase to drum up customers for their fab. I don't know of a more critical thing I could have possibly said there. Intel opens their doors, invites me in, gives me a factory tour, and I go, this is really impressive engineering, but that's about it. And you know what? I'm invited to this year's Intel event, too.
Doesn't pay to be dishonest to yourself or to your audience.
It doesn't. The only currency I have in this economy, in this profession that I find myself in, is the trust I have with my audience. That is something I can never violate. Oh, it's going to be spicy. I saw you posted the article, Cheese. I haven't read it yet, but I will pull it up right here just for you. So, George sends over $5. Thank you very much, Mr. Chips and Cheese. Mr. Cheese, that is. I just want you to read the title and the very last sentence of the Vera article on Chips and Cheese. So here is this. NVIDIA's Vera white paper has a thread loose. Let's click on the article. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. There we go. NVIDIA has built enough CPU here, it can stop borrowing performance from the marketing pipeline. The reason George and I get called back to companies is because we're not afraid to just say truth. Period.
Yeah.
We have trust with our audience, but we also have trust with these companies. These companies trust our opinion. And what's really funny is in my Dell monitor review, someone said, this is nothing more than a paid marketing insertion. Like, they sent you a monitor, bravo, but to think that Dell actually cares about what you think and that they'll move the placement of the ports for the next thing. I counter with the email that I got back from my Dell PR rep, who said, I've sent off your notes specifically about the ports to our engineering team. Maybe our opinions do have some weight. Maybe there's a reason we're in these positions. He didn't actually say that. But many, many times over the years have I seen genuine change from companies over criticisms that I've had of them. Sometimes very small. Sometimes they tell me your opinion doesn't matter because we're going in a different engineering direction. Sometimes you get no feedback at all. But the idea that opinions of people like me and people like George don't matter, there's a reason we keep getting invited back. So you admit to being a corporate shill. No. I shill for no one. Except maybe craftcomputing.store. Go get some glassware. What's funny is, again, I mentioned this last week. I'm writing a video right now without the help of AI that explains the economy of this business that I'm in.
Yeah.
What is a sponsored video? What is an ad insertion? What is a product deal? What is a review? What is all these things? Where does Jeff's money come from? With no punches pulled about what different words mean what.
Yeah.
And also who pays money. Do you know who doesn't pay a dime? NVIDIA, Intel, AMD. They don't give cash at all. Okay? I don't make money from them at all. But they sent you review units that we don't technically own. That, yes, they live with me now, but I can't sell them.
But Jeff, they sent you more work to do.
They did. They sent me a lot more work to do. Do you know what I'd much rather be doing than spending 40 hours on an RTX 5090 review? Almost anything else. Something that will actually make me money. Because AdSense certainly ain't paying that bill for 40 hours worth of work. Unless I have a sponsor on that video for an ad insertion, that's not paying for that work.
Yeah.
But Jeff, you got a free 5090. That has no monetary value to me because I can't sell it or give it away. Yeah. So if I'm not going to actively use it, it sits on a shelf. Guess where my 5090 is right now? It's in the gaming case that's right behind me, on the floor, not plugged in. It's right there. It literally has no value. I know that's a hard concept to understand. And I know it sounds like a 1% argument when you're like, man, I would kill to be able to upgrade my graphics card right now. I get you. That's where I've been my entire life until I started this. And now I have more graphics cards than I know what to do with, but I literally cannot do anything with them. They're not mine.
Fun. They can sit on your shelf, bro.
Yeah.
Paperweights.
Yeah, I can spend all the time I don't have to play games on these graphics cards now. Like, I got into this field because I was a gaming enthusiast with a background in systems administration and things like that. And now I hardly have any time to play games. So I'm living the dream of getting all the free hardware. And if hardware was the game that I was after, awesome. But God, I wish I had 10 hours a week to spend playing games anymore. And I just don't.
Yeah.
I wish I could be excited about new game releases.
Yeah.
But I'm just not.
I always wonder is this just a product of maybe growing up? Or is it the fact that work occupies us so much, more than it should?
I think with me, it's a huge, it's a brain capacity issue. How much time are you able to spend on one thing and then decompress on another? And part of it's the career choice. I've always been an entrepreneur and someone who's always looking to shake things up, and I much prefer to go my own way than work for corporate America or something like that. And so, yeah, I work a lot. And by a lot, I mean usually between 50 and 60 hours.
Yeah,
it's a lot, but it's not hundreds of hours, per.
It's a lot when you have a family and
right.
other things going on.
I have a family. I have 3 children-aged kids. And I refuse to spend all my time playing games instead of playing, spending time with my kids or other things like that. And so, yeah.
I think anymore that the primary model of Steam is to just sell the dream of playing games. Because really, I don't know. Everybody, all of my friends, it's there's barely anybody that's constantly playing. I'm playing a ton of Caves of Cud, but that's easy because I have it on my Steam Deck. I play it before I fall asleep. I'm not sitting in front of my computer. I'm not
Yeah. What's funny is you log in with that about the same time that I log into Everything is Crab. Because it's a roguelite that I can spend between 20 and 30 minutes on, and I feel nothing when I log off.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
The way it should be.
That being said, there is a game coming out that I am actually genuinely looking forward to. Have you seen the Lantern of the Laughless Saint?
No.
You're going to like this one. You're going to like this one a lot.
All right.
I should tell you to go, like, mute yourself and go watch the trailer just to watch your reaction. The trailer starts with, F you, Todd Howard.
Okay.
Elder Scrolls 6 has been in development for 15 years. We couldn't wait that long, so we made our own Morrowind. They're making a Scrolls-like game.
Nice.
In which they are doing like deep storytelling and all of the hallmarks of what made Morrowind great. That's like, don't like the shopkeeper? Kill him and take all his belongings.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that he had a quest to give you that was vital for the game to progress. Nope. You live with that decision. Like, one of the marketing points is you can actively break the game.
That's epic. And this looks great. Art direction is really cool.
Yeah.
Just looking at the images.
Comes out in 2 weeks.
Oh, sweet. Oh, yeah. August 17th. Okay. Sign me up.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to dive into that one.
I mean, they got like Morrowind like right in the description.
Yeah. No, it's very clearly inspired by.
An RPG inspired by Morrowind.
Yep.
Done.
And written in spite of Bethesda's current direction. Like,
well, Microsoft is an AI first company.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, Elder Scrolls is a Microsoft product now. So
it certainly is. The Dragonborn is a Microsoft princess, after all.
Yeah.
I'm opening
All
a
that to
box
say.
right now.
Oh, are you? Of beer? Oh, even better. Oh, it is a beer. Right? That's beer.
You know, I hadn't opened this box before, and I'm kind of glad and really irritated that it happened on camera. So for those who don't know, I am a U of O fan.
Oh, somebody's trolling you? That's hilarious.
Someone's trolling me. I was born in I was born in Eugene. Lived there for basically all of my school-aged life. And then moved north towards Portland right around high school age. Or after high school. And I've lived here ever since. Well, Auburn beat Oregon in the national title game in one of our appearances. Okay. So someone decided to send me an Auburn cozy.
Sport
ball. Ha ha ha. Thank you. Anyway, this was sent over by this year's Secret Santa, and I apologize. I forget who sent, because the Secret Santa stuff has been in like my little cooler behind me here, and I decided to just break this one out.
Nice.
So
exercising that free will we're talking about in chat, you know.
Yes.
The choice.
Firestone Walker's 2024 Peribola, which is an imperial stout aged in straight rye barrels.
Oh, like rye-bola.
Yeah. Peribola.
Like it's a parabola.
It's a parabola, but it's aged in rye instead of bourbon.
Well, the way looks right there, it's like time to parry Ebola.
Right.
Come on.
Peribola.
This is the Dark Souls
Yeah.
of contagious diseases.
Yeah, parabola. Peribola. Yeah.
Peribola.
Yes.
Parry Ebola, quick, press X now.
Yeah. Peribola. Parabola. Okay, there we go. I think we broke it.
We got it.
2024 Parabola. Thank you.
Somebody asks if it was Cosworth.
It was not Cosworth this year. I suspected it was Cosworth because I got a very specific bottle.
Cosworth doesn't like Auburn, but he does like trolling you. So
Cosworth sent me over a 2010 vintage of Deschutes' The Abyss. So I have a bomber of 2010 Abyss in my fridge right now. But anyway, 15.4% in a 12-ounce bottle.
Nice. It sounds delish.
Back to the discussion at hand.
AI?
With Hank Green and he got caught note-taking with AI.
No.
But didn't write his video, didn't script his video. In fact, that was an off-the-cuff remark that...
So I guess the question is, like, what does he use AI for? I guess it wasn't... I didn't watch anything. I didn't read anything about this. The Ars Technica one is just, like, YouTube's guidelines. It's like, all right.
Well, if we look at his...
Apology. Because, like, I guess I'm confused about, like, how was he making videos before this?
I have been using AI to locate papers and other resources for learning about topics. You are still getting my takes based on what I read, know, and learn. And again, that's what AI should be used for. Going back, we were going to dissect this. I produced this video under a ton of pressure, and I went and checked my processes from start to finish.
Yeah, my first criticism was assuaged by reading the whole thing, which I highly recommend people do.
Yeah.
Because the first thing I was like, well, what do you mean you went and checked why did you have to check to see if you used AI? But I think what he's saying is I checked to see if it was written in there anywhere. Thank you for the pushback.
Correct.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is a far different thing than what I thought he was saying in that first sentence, which is like, well, I had to check to see if I used AI. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, I just went through the notes and the script for this, and neither contain I appreciate the pushback. Again, that phrase is a canary in the world of LLM AI. And it being included in his speech sent off alarm bells. And I kind of understand why, but I also look at the source video that it was in, and I'm going, that video wasn't scripted word for word. It was a live conversation between two people about a variety of random topics. Yeah, AI was probably using the research for that video. Does that make that inherently wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, again, I don't know. I think I liked what you said earlier, that it comes down to trust. And I think I find it very confusing that Hank Green thinks he needs to use it. And he can say that, like, well, I was under a lot of pressure. I have to produce things. And that's things that I understand and sympathize with. Mm-hmm. Because, like, you think about, when I was back in craft studios, we felt the pressure to try to produce 8 videos a month. And that was, like, a tremendous pressure for both of us. And since then, you've toned it down, and, like, the quality of videos has gone up. The quality of sponsorship we're able to secure has gone up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand that the pressure causes you to do things or to think,
to compromise your own.
Yeah, to compromise, to think very rigidly to solve these problems rather than. And so I sympathize with that a little bit. I don't think, like, I do struggle with the idea that, like, content creation is like something so important that we have to, like,
mm-hmm.
be beholden to compromising ourselves to do it. If using AI can be considered a compromise of ourselves. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's interesting because it is his job. He has to make money. He has to pay his bills. He has to do all this, and he's beholden to probably other people, beholden to sponsors, and lots of outside pressure. So yeah, but also like you were doing just fine before AI. Like you're one of the Green brothers,
right?
You know what
right.
I mean? Like, you know, it's like I don't know what you thought you needed it for. And I guess it's not super clear. Okay, he's using it to like find papers. Like, is this guy making sure that the papers exist? Because that was always seemed to be one of the problems, especially in the legal field.
Yeah.
That like
it would hallucinate court notes. And,
yes.
Yeah.
And cases.
Yeah.
So that when you're trying to find case law to support your legal argument, it's there, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, and that's you know, so that's the confusing element. You're using it to find papers. But like, I don't know, and I'm not saying that Hank Green can't weigh the merits of the papers on his own, but like this was also the problem of how we got to like ivermectin cures diseases, because there was like a paper out there, you know, and I'm sure he knows how to parse and weigh all the differences and stuff, but like just because a paper exists doesn't mean that it's important or valid either, you know.
That old video of like, look, here's the research that says autism doesn't or vaccines don't cause autism, and here's the one paper that says they do, and the lady goes, I knew it, and takes the one paper. Yeah,
exactly. So I don't know, it's just interesting, and I'm sure that he's got all sorts of mechanisms in place or whatever in place. I'm sure that he can tell the moment he reads a paper, you know, just by identifying the sources or the sample pool or whatever. But I don't know. It does feel weird, just based on what I know about him. I do think like the response to it, or I say the response, but there's only one response that I've seen to this video, and it was on Bluesky, and it was just basically about this idea that like, okay, maybe if Hank Green isn't using it to do his scripts or whatever, it still seems to be naturally influencing the way that he presents, the way he thinks and approaches things and talks. And it's part of that problem that you see a lot of people saying, and you were kind of touching on it earlier, this idea that like, well, in the hands of the experienced developers, whatever, like these are really good productivity boosters. And that seems to be the case like across the board.
Yeah.
But when will we stop having like experienced senior developers if we continue down this path of allowing everybody to use them at your, you know, and this idea of like, somebody said it on Bluesky, that basically AI just seems to have the natural ability to make you slightly worse at what you're doing, what you're using it for.
Yeah.
And we see that like with people all the time, like using it to like plan their lives or to have conversations, and like all of a sudden they can't make decisions, or they end up on a park bench waiting for an imaginary boyfriend to come. Remember that story? Yeah. Anyway,
I do. There was I read an article a couple of weeks ago about this lady who was using voice transcription. So she would go on a date with someone. She was using voice transcription.
This is painful too.
To record the date, the conversation between the two people on a first date, and then rate how she did. I don't know. Maybe try just talking to the person.
Yeah, 100%.
Just
I can usually tell whether or not I like people right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vince says, I appreciate the push, and everybody's been saying this to their credit, but I appreciate the pushback is a phrase that existed before AI. It was a phrase used by PR coaches on how to fill time on blah, 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 blah. And I think that this is another element of the AI thing that we don't talk about enough, is that like it has eroded the trust that we have in each other to the point where we are hearing casual phrases and assuming that somebody used AI.
By the way, Vince, nice hyphen placement in that comment as well.
It'd be even better if it was a real M dash.
It would be.
I wonder if can I get an M dash in the chat? Hell yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah, and it's so it's an interesting element that it also seems to be eroding the trust that we have in each other, and like we, you know, I've gotten like feedback on things that I've submitted in the artistic world, and I'm not entirely unconvinced that the feedback I got wasn't given to me after they fed my work into like an AI thing and then like just got a generic response and gave it to me.
Yeah.
Um, and again, I feel bad that I even think that because it's like they're not known for doing this. Whenever I bring it up to other people, they're like, no, 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 those people, they're completely anti-AI. They would never do that. Yet it still feels like an AI responded to the creative thing that I gave them, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. We can watch like the real world erosion of like institutional knowledge, like everywhere around us. Like there are people. Okay, with the Odyssey out, this has been a big thing with the Odyssey because this guy filmed this freaking entire movie in IMAX.
Right, on film.
And there's
On
and there's
70
how many
IMAX.
IMAXs? And there's how many IMAX projectors in the country? There's not that many.
Something like 120 or something like
Right.
that. Yeah.
But they're increasingly becoming rarer because they don't make the parts and they don't know how to fix them. Oh my God, I just read about this in the bowling world too, Jeff. Have you read about this? There's no technicians to fix the dang pin resetters.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to the stupid pin resetting mechanisms instead of the ones that everybody's been using for 75 years.
When you don't train juniors, you don't get seniors.
Yes. So that's what I was getting at, is that like, when will we just lose more institutional knowledge to people over relying on AI? I don't know. Again,
Not tech
it's tough
support.
'cause-
Not tech support sends over $5. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I suspect that since the notes were AI assisted, he picked up the phrase from using the tools to make videos. Worries about using too much to build content. You will unconsciously, subconsciously pick up words and phrases simply by hearing them or seeing them repeated.
Yeah.
Doubly so if you have a little bit of you're a little neurospicy. There's a term called echolalia, which is the repeating or call an expected response of sounds that you hear or phrases that you hear. And this is especially common in autism and neurodivergent communities. One way that people can relate to people if they don't understand small talk or don't know how to use it is literally saying movie quotes to one another. And in fact, this happens a lot in my own Discord. It happens a lot on Reddit. You see it a lot on Reddit of a situation reminding you of something and someone brings up a random Futurama quote. That's echolalia.
Right.
That is, I don't know how to respond to this, so I'm going to respond with what I think is the right thing, which is a response I've heard before. Or a response that only makes sense in context.
What do they call that?
Echolalia.
Yeah, I got that one bad.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything I say is like a prepackaged response that I've been reusing for the last 20 years.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I still will practice conversations when I know I'm going to be meeting someone new.
Oh, 100%.
I will practice.
That's normal, Jeff.
It's not. It's not.
No. We've got a pretty good sample pool between the two of us. I feel like it's got to be pretty normal.
I mean, for us, it's probably normal. When your sample size is 2, though, yeah.
Oh my God. So Mike Jones says about our about our conversation. I'm assuming it's about the conversation of losing institutional knowledge, junior dev, senior dev, blah, blah, blah. He says, are you arguing with losing the ability to gatekeep knowledge? WTF. He said, it's like complaining people learn to read and can now read the Bible, and you can't gatekeep that knowledge with your institution of preachers. You're on the wrong side of history, man. To which I say, like, please, for the love of God, if everybody knew how to fix the pin setting machine so that my bowling alley doesn't get ruined, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If people knew how to fix the IMAX machine so that we could have a real true IMAX theater in Oregon again, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm
I
not
just want to
gatekeeping
watch
anything.
the Odyssey.
You think I have the power to gatekeep?
I just want to watch the Odyssey and the Hateful Eight in the way they were meant to be enjoyed.
Right. It's just funny that me having like a slightly different opinion than the person who is adamant that intelligence means the ability to make a choice is somehow gatekeeping anything.
I think they were being sarcastic.
I don't know if he is.
I think they were.
If he is, say so.
By mentioning the you can read the Bible now, because remember that was a huge thing of reading the scripture to the illiterate masses. And
yeah, sure. Well, and it wasn't
it's the
even
whole
like
premise of the Book of
for,
Eli.
Right. And it wasn't even kosher for like Catholics to be able to read the Bible until like 60 years ago or something, you know.
Right.
Watch. Freaking Mike Jones over here, he's just probably got my number and is trolling me, but
oh, I texted it to him earlier. It's fine.
You got me good.
Cosworth sends over $2. Weaponized Autism, brought to you by Lockheed Martin. Fat Hacker sends over $5 Thank you so much. I am man-made, therefore I am artificial. Does that not make me artificial intelligence? Are you advocating for gay marriage over there? I mean, either way, that's awesome. But Green sends over $2. Thank you so much. You can only gatekeep if there is a gatekeeper. Yeah. And if there's not a gatekeeper, you just dress as a gatekeeper. And now this is the gate I keep. And George says, sorry, hacker, you are now AI. I get so frustrated. I mean, I've done this speech 100 times. I get so frustrated that everything has to be binary. When nothing is binary. Except the input-output of your PC. That's the only binary thing that... Nothing
but even then, we figured out how to get, you know, binary to translate into very non-binary results.
Yeah, but nothing is ever black and white, 1 and 0, yes or no, good or evil. Outside of very few, like AI good or AI bad. Like if I say, oh yeah, no, I used a local AI model to help with a coding project. Oh, then you support the data centers that are going into rural areas and draining their water and raising the cost of electricity by 300% and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't support that. I used an open source model. I you know, am running a little machine here in my house. No, I don't support any of that. Oh, well, then you support the erosion of the rights of creatives and their training into as fodder into AI generative works. No, not directly, but at the same time, if they're not directly reproducing the work and it's simply trained on the work, is that in itself not a derivative work? Which is copyright protected? Trust me, it's very sketchy if you even ask one follow-up question about whether or not these things are binary, because the answer is so much more complicated.
No. Yeah, I think like the real trick is, you know, there is a lot of nuance, right?
Yeah.
People are against data centers, but it's really just because like we are never prioritized in the installation or institution of data centers.
And in fact,
right?
it costs us money.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially like in Oregon, we talk about this a lot. Our power costs continue to rise because of the 1% of energy consumption in the state, which is the big data centers and big tech manufacturing hubs and things like this. It's not because you and I, well, maybe you are, but it's not because I'm using more electricity than ever. And then supposedly we have this increase in demand, but we're never doing anything to like mitigate it. You know, it's like we can see people around the world are putting in solar power, and for the first time ever, solar power that is the most cost-effective option for electricity there is, and yet we can't put it in at a rate to even satisfy the rate that these damn data centers are going in.
Right.
And there's just no, like, if we were prioritized and we were centered in all of these conversations, it would be a lot different. If people were coming in and saying the AI models are going to make your life easier and you're going to reap the benefit too, then yeah, people would probably be a lot more excited about it. But like for the most part, all it's done is cost the working people with massive tech layoffs, with industries that are not going to recover anytime soon. You know, like the video game industry is like, as far as AAA goes, is like been stripped for parts.
Yeah.
Like even Bethesda just had massive layoffs like not that long ago. You think you're getting Fallout 6? You think you're getting Elder Scrolls or Fallout 5? Elder Scrolls 6? No, probably not. You're going to go ahead and get the Lantern of the Laughing Saint and the other fun indie games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If any one company that is rolling out data centers rolled out a data center to an area and said, look, we know this is going to generate some noise in this particular area. We know there's concerns about water use. We know there's concerns about power use. We know there's concerns about your tax dollars going up. We know we're not bringing very many jobs to your area. Like a data center that's thousands of acres could survive on 70 employees, and none of them are going to come from your local area because your local area doesn't have people who are trained and skilled in managing data centers. So those jobs are going to come in from out of state. Now, those jobs will live in your area now. We're adding 75 people to it, but that's a drop in the bucket compared to most population centers. Right now, the data centers, they're funneling 100% of those profits out of state. Like Oregon, big tech center, right? Like we've got freaking Intel.
Intel, baby.
We've got Intel right here. We've got
a Facebook data center in Prineville.
We've got Facebook, Meta. I believe X has a data center out there. Netflix has a data center out there. Amazon has data centers out there. Like you think of any major tech company, Oregon has a data center with their name on it. If any one of those companies said, you know what, rather than funneling literally every last drop of profit out of this area, if we have to install a power center that's big enough to support a 75 megawatt install, and the consumer power grid right now is only 25 megawatt, let's just build a 125 and make power free for everyone. Is that a good trade-off?
I don't know.
Now we have free power, or we're paying for the maintenance on the power, and citizens get free power. Do you think there would be pushback to data centers, even though 85% of the profits are leaving now? No. People would go, you want to pay my power bill? Fuck yeah.
Kind of a small trade-off.
Kind of a small trade-off, right? Hey, how about instead of Amazon coming into an area and paying federal minimum wage, they go, you know what? Every worker we hire is going to be at 22 starting with full benefits. Do you think there'd be pushback against Amazon? No, there fucking wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And that's the root of this problem. Is when these companies come in, they're min-maxing every last component. They're min-maxing every last dollar and cent that is both spent for possible improvement outside of their gates, as well as siphoning every last dollar back out of state. It's not going to the community. The community is getting a whole bunch of, 20-hour minimum wage jobs. Cool, we opened 70 McDonald's in the area. That's about the same economic equivalent.
Right.
Could one of these companies just fucking give a shit?
Exactly.
Just one.
I don't know, I think like past a certain point of they can't. They literally cannot. The only thing that they can legally care about is shareholder profit.
They have to answer to the shareholders. And as long as the shareholders get theirs, the hell with everyone else.
Yeah.
I'd be
It's an
fully on
interesting
board a data
element.
center going in locally if they said your power bill is never a thing anymore. Oh, and we're also using fully renewable. We're not using water. We're using a non water loss system, which costs about 15% more than the current of app towers that they're putting in everywhere.
Well, that's the interesting element of this because I think like we've talked a lot about on this show. I remember like thinking a lot about like I guess like I don't know what you would call it. Certainly not cloud computing, but like, community cluster computing and things like this, where it's like, oh man, it would be cool to have like community data centers and all this stuff. Like this is something I remember talking about on the show like 5, 6 years ago, before all the like LLM booms and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be cool to have a community cluster, compute data center or whatever, and you could access. It would be like a service you could have, like a library in a town. But the difference is that like I was envisioning this cool like community owned thing where like if a community, you know, wanted a community would be responsible for the positives and the negatives. And if it was doing bad for the community, you could change it. You could do things. But the problem is like these outside companies come in and they have no problem extracting as much from as they can from the location and funneling that out of state, like you said. And we're left with the repercussions, and we're left with the downsides. And
Yeah.
maybe it's naive, I don't know. But I just don't think that the model. I don't know. I guess as long as like it's so like harmful to the places that they're going in, I'm just always going to be kind of naturally against it.
Yeah.
If a community wants it in, but like we're seeing places that might not otherwise be as vocal or active in a given like political topic just coming out and saying no
Yeah.
all across the board. And people in their communities know best what they want or what they need. And it doesn't matter what we all say coming into the chat of this show and talking about, oh, well, blah, 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 blah is going to be better for them because we can increase productivity for yet another, we're talking about developers, yet another distant company that has no benefit to their local community. But at the end of the day, if a community doesn't feel like something's a good fit, they feel like it's more harmful, you're going to sit there and say they don't know what they're talking about? These are the people that got to live there. These are the people that got to sell their houses there eventually. And even great things can have like a lot of unintended consequences that, once the pickle is out of the jar, it's hard to put the pickle back in, or whatever Jeff says.
You can't unpickle the burger.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's just so frustrating that they're like, why are they so averse to this data center moving in? It's going to bring 75 jobs. Oh, and also increase their power bills by 20%. Oh, and also lower their water tables, making it difficult for farmers and local agriculture and livestock. And there's going to be moratoriums on watering your lawn in the sun. Why don't people want this here? I don't know. Maybe because there's absolutely no benefit to that area for extracting billions of dollars out of that community.
Yeah. 75 jobs. Hold the presses, everybody. We were about to employ 75 people.
Yeah. I don't even have to take out a press release or notify the FTC if I fire 75 people.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to put that into context about what that is for job offerings.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if any one company just said, we're literally going to invest in the area. Yeah, we're gonna make $20 billion a year using this farmland on the outskirts of town. But tell you what, we'll give you $2 billion a year to be here. There's no town that doesn't take that offer. The problem is they're saying we'll bring in 75 jobs from out of town, and we're going to raise prices on everything around you because we're taking the lion's share of everything.
You know, and it's an interesting point because like I remember like seeing this or reading about this. There was a place in Japan, a small rural town that was slowly dying to like the urban flight, I guess you could call it, the escape of its population to urban centers. Its population was aging and all this type of stuff, and the government came in with a hydropower project, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll just like pay everybody that lives here like subsidies in order for us to like put this hydro project in and exploit the natural resource of your community, and like we'll just pay you guys a monthly thing."
Yeah.
And like they literally put money into the pockets of everyone that lives there because there's no jobs. It's rural. It's already kind of dwindling as it is. You put money right in their pockets. I think that's a great idea. And yeah, all small towns in Japan are dead now. So yeah, which one am I describing?
Yeah.
But I don't know. That always stuck with me because the town was able to do a lot of like really cool community oriented things, like without it being a drain. They have like, it's a really small town. Like literally, I don't even think has as many people as like Mount Angel, Oregon has, for example. And yet they have like a transportation system to get kids to and from school. They have a really robust community center where people can meet, and they have events and things constantly, and it's open 24/7. And like and like a guy is able to like deliver groceries to elderly people every day.
Yeah.
Because this big, that's a capitalism fail in my opinion. What have we been talking about? God. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, reading the chat.
And by the way, I'm not even talking about socialism. I'm literally just talking about let's tax the companies that come in. Like, let's just make them pay their fair share instead of, oh no, you'll get this land at 1% tax. We don't care what the value is or what the perceived value is or what the detriment to our community is. We're going to let the big companies come in and mooch all of our natural resources to the betterment of no one.
Yeah.
Except, tech bros in California. Nothing against California. California has a lot of their own problems, but building a data center in my backyard that benefits only people in Silicon Valley, yeah, I'm pretty much against that.
Yeah.
As should everyone else be. Unless there's a benefit for me. If a benefit stays here and it's a net positive for my life, I'm for data centers. The problem is not one single data center is offering that. And that's why I'm against data centers. And yes, I'm a tech reviewer and I deal with server hardware and yes, I'll review the things. That doesn't mean I support the companies that use them. And that's a really weird paradigm to be in as well. Oh, cool. Microsoft signed a deal with OpenAI and AMD. They're going to deploy 1 million MI455X racks. That's awesome. I don't want them here.
Yeah.
Do you know how weird of a statement that is to make?
Somebody says, not against your assessment, I'm just genuinely asking, how far does a community extend? Like power grids are from Illinois to New Jersey. A data center in Illinois affects electricity price, no? And I think like that's a great question, but the truth is there are already like very well-defined examples of what a community are. And like,
yeah.
I don't think we necessarily have to be like exclusive. We don't have to adopt an exclusive definition of what a community is, but like there are very good examples already. There are like boundaries that we use all the time. You can see like examples in I was just thinking about like wildfires the other day. There was like a big wildfire in California where maybe this is a bad example because I can't even remember it. But it's like even within this town, there was like almost a separate community insulated by like, financial kind of boundaries. And so it's like they defined their own community in that instance.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think in an ideal world, community is sort of freely associative, but also like if you live in a town, you live in a town. You're counted in that town's population when the census comes around.
Right.
Towns have borders. You can look on a map. You vote every election time it comes around, and they go, "Hey, do you want to annex this land and make it part of our town now?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Don't conflate national power grid with local power companies. I'll start with that. Yes, the grid is connected from Illinois to New Jersey.
Unless you're in Texas.
Unless you're in Texas, in which case, Godspeed, my friend. Hope you have really good rates on tickets to Cancun when the winter comes, or when the summer comes, or whenever the wind blows a certain direction. Yes, the national power grid does have very large spans in which it covers, but that large span is also owned and operated by 40 independent utility companies. And they tie their grids together, but also if two of those grids fail, the others have to pick up the slack. If too many of those grids fail, then everyone dies. And a boost to what I consider the local community would be supporting the local power company and supporting the constituents of that local power company in a net positive. Either prices go down, or something gets subsidized, or it reinforces the power grid in that area so the data center is not a net loss. That's what I would consider a net win. If Walmart came to town and my electric prices went up 3 cents, I'd be pissed. Because Walmart should be paying their fair frickin' share of whatever power they're using. Now, if a data center comes to town, and a data center needs 3 times the power output of my local power facility, and they don't pay for that, and the prices go to me, yeah, I'm still going to be pissed. If data centers were coming to town and paying their fair share, and paying their taxes, and paying living wages, and hiring locally, and not burning water, there'd be much fewer problems with it.
Yeah.
The problem is, the money is greasing the wheels of bureaucracy, and so these companies are coming in thinking that they're going to pay 0 taxes for the next 20 years, and
then another
the
element
electric
of
companies
this
are going to subsidize them.
Another element of this that we haven't even talked about is like what's happening in our area, freaking NDAs that are basically giving us a fog of war until the 11th hour, where all of these deals are negotiated and talked about and hashed out behind the fog of an NDA, where the people and the community constituents can't even comment on it or talk about it until it's too late.
Yep.
I mean, and it's hilarious to me that, like, you could have such vocal opposition to something in our area. The governor herself comes out and is like, yeah, we'll make that not a thing. But too little, too late, too slow.
Okay, so we mentioned this last week. There's a current data center initiative for the city of Salem, where there's some property south of town that the city of Salem city council agreed to sell to a California data center company. And it's the largest piece of industrial land in the area. It was going to be subsidized by power bills, so my power bill would go up. They're getting tax breaks, and the reason I keep coming back to 75 jobs is that's the promised number of jobs that this data center is bringing, is 75 jobs. Not locally, mind you, just 75 jobs. In March of 2025, the data center company and the city council came to an agreement, and the city council signed an NDA where they couldn't disclose the terms of the agreement until it came up for a vote.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, local city council.
Yeah. There's another funny dynamic in Oregon. It's that Oregon's largest city is Portland. Oregon's second largest city is Eugene. They are separated by about 95 miles of I-5. Salem sits directly between them. Portland doesn't like Eugene. Eugene doesn't like Portland. And both of them pretend Salem doesn't exist. That's the political dynamic. So the fact that the governor has actually come out and said, no, we're not going to authorize the sale of the land in Salem is kind of a win, because I feel like I've been seen for the first time in the last 20 years.
Yeah, the whole thing's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think overall, sorry, conversations in the chat.
Yeah.
I think overall, like, there's a lot to be said about the whole thing in general. And obviously we got here from Hank Green, and obviously there's a lot of more nuance. One thing I wanted to talk about before, and we're kind of like at the end of the show, so maybe this is the wrong time to bring it up, but I thought it was kind of interesting that I've been talking with some potential advertising partners for craft computing who had watched the show, and they were like, well, what do we do about, we want to advertise on your show, but like, we're kind of this new service. It's like, okay, we also kind of like use AI for some of this. Do we need to like disclose in our advertising about AI use and all these different things? And like, it's kind of an interesting concept, because they were acutely aware of like the perception of AI from the outside, and they had their own feelings about AI, but they felt as though like they couldn't really escape the gravity of it. And so they drew boundaries, much like you were talking about before. Yeah. They drew boundaries around how it would be used, and how far they would take it. What were the things they definitely would never use it for? What were some of the things that they could use it for? And then what kind of responsibility do they have to disclose that to make sure that people trust them when they say what they do and don't use it for? I thought that was a really interesting conversation.
It's one of the more down-to-earth conversations we've had with AI companies, or with companies that utilize AI.
Right.
So being a content creator and selling ad space within the channel, and this is something else I'm going to cover, is the scrutiny placed on content creators when there's zero scrutiny placed on literally anyone else.
Yeah.
Jeff, as the head of craft computing, you need to be acutely aware of any company you advertise, because that's an endorsement. And man, if they have 1% of their company that doesn't meet the moral guidelines of literally every man, woman, and child on this planet, you are by association as guilty as they are. And I love that the CEO of Ring can hire Shaq to sit next to him. Just literally hire Shaq to hang out with him at like corporate events and things, and no one thinks less of Shaq. Oh yeah, Shaq got his bag because they paid him to be there. But then if Jeff gets paid to go somewhere, oh, you're just on their payroll now. You'll say anything they want you to say. Yeah, that's how the influencer industry works.
Yeah.
I
think it is so part of the trap of like the always online model of our lives anymore, is that like we are expected to have strong opinions about everything at all times. We're expected to immediately denounce or renounce or announce, like literally like anything on a moment's notice. It's like, hey, by the way, did you know that this person that you loved and respected and whose work is a guiding light in your own professional life actually has this really shitty opinion? What do you think about that? And it's like, and if you need time to think about that and analyze that, then it's like a moral failure, Not saying that like Hank Green is that in this case, but maybe he is that to some people. I've certainly had a lot of instances.
How many people spent 20 years reading Dilbert until Scott Adams got interviewed one time?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. And unfortunately for Scott Adams, Scott Dilbert, he just kept going. He didn't stop. Much like other people who are famous for their creative works that might be in print and in bookstores, Barnes and Nobles, everywhere.
Yeah.
And stuff. They just don't stop.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's interesting because I think part of what people come to like craft computing to, for example, is like this very like measured, nuanced take. They want like your considered opinion, and yet when it benefits them, they want your rushed opinion about something.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
It's the amount of scrutiny put on content creators about like, look, I cannot on this channel run a Raid Shadow Legends ad. I can't.
Just cause.
For reasons. Whatever those reasons are, I can't take Raid Shadow Legend money. Even though they'd pay pretty well for an integration in craft computing. Meanwhile, you're watching any sports league of any kind brought to you by DraftKings.
Yeah.
Why does ESPN get away with it, but Jeff can't?
Yeah.
For a much lower morality bar. Like,
this is another funny thing. Not to interrupt you, but I was watching
go for
this
it.
movie.
I needed to be cut off, so go.
I was watching this movie I loved the other day. The Last Boy Scout. Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah.
And that Wayans brother guy.
Yeah.
And the main plot of the movie is that like this mob boss wants to legalize sports gambling, but they have to stop it because that would be evil. And like that is like an unambiguous fact in the movie that like these mafia people will like kill people to get this passed. They will cover up all the things. That's how evil sports gambling is. They will kill people for this. And yet, here we are.
The opening scene of this movie, by the way, it's 30 years old, #no spoilers, is a running back on the football field, running down the field for a touchdown, and a defensive lineman pulling out a revolver and shooting him in the chest. Okay? We're done with symbolism at this point.
I know authors who use subtext, and they're all cowards.
Right.
Oh my god. Anyway, great movie. If anybody,
oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a ride. But why do content creators get put on this pedestal of like, look, I'm not saying I support gaming addiction and gacha games and all this kind of thing. They're not my jam. And I have always said to all companies who want to advertise, oh, we'd like an organic advertisement introduction. Okay, I'm not going to interrupt my video to tell you how much I like your preheated microwave meals. Or your frozen microwave meals delivered to my door, or whatever the line is. I'm not going to name any names.
Really bad news for you about next month's. Oh, shit. Stop talking, Jeff. Stop.
Yeah. But if Jeff did a Factor ad, there's a percentage of my audience who would stop watching. I ask you why. I'm never going to say I do this every day. I have that morality that I won't tell you I use a product when I don't. I will advertise a product. I will say, hey, they ship easy to make meals direct to your door, and the chicken one's edible. Like, but even in my advertisements, I use a measured approach of stopping the line of direct endorsement and simply being an integration. Do you think Jane Fonda eats Activia yogurt every day?
Yeah.
Like, do you really think Shaq has ring cameras around his house?
Yeah.
Do you think LeBron James uses Gold Bond medicated powder? Like, for shit's sake, why is the line so low for me and so high for billionaires?
The answer should be obvious. Because unfortunately it extends far beyond just the morality of what kind of advertising dollars you take and what you're willing to put your face next to, Jeff.
Right.
It goes so far beyond.
Oh, I know it's so far beyond, and it's such a deeper conversation, but that one aspect of it just pisses me off.
Yeah. They even got a list for some of these people. And
Free Factor ad. Look, Factor getting all that free endorsement.
yeah. See, that's why NVIDIA doesn't care what he says. Good publicity is just publicity.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
And Bearded IT Dad chiming in. It's only gotten worse in the last few years. Yeah, exactly. Like look, I look at all potential ads with a very scrutinous lens. There's a reason that we got offered to do honey ads, and we didn't. There's a reason we got offered to do established title ads, and we didn't. I didn't like those companies. I didn't like the model. I didn't like honey. I don't know who couldn't possibly see that was going to be stealing affiliate revenue directly from us. I'm sorry, that one was so patently obvious from the pitch. Finds you coupons. Okay. How are you making money? Turns out it was extortion. But, I don't run those ads. But if I were to run an ad today for a mobile game, any mobile game, I would be chastised for it. I can't believe you stand behind the in-app purchasing and the taking it. It's freaking World of Tanks, man. Can we take a break? Can we take a breather?
But do you know what they stand for? There are atrocities in the world, Jeff, and they haven't made their stance on those atrocities clear. So, silence is complicity.
Yeah. And trust me, I wish I was on these companies' payrolls that everyone accuses me of being on. I really wish I had AMD and NVIDIA money, okay? The truth is, I make no money from those people. In fact, I probably lose money every year because of the work lost going to conferences that are associated with those companies. The videos that I do at those conferences don't get the clicks that a normal video does.
Yeah. Not at all.
Nor can I have a sponsor that has a competing product. I can't say today's coverage of AMD's Advancing AI 2026 event is brought to you by Dell and the GB10, an NVIDIA product. I can't do that. I can't buy stocks, although Congress certainly can. As a journalist, I am legally obligated to not purchase tech stocks. Did you know that? Because my influence could change market directions, and I could be guilty of insider trading by affiliation. I cannot trade stocks, but freaking every sitting member of Congress owns stock in NVIDIA. Why is my bar so fucking low?
Gotta figure out how to get on that list, bro.
Sorry, I should have had rant alert on this entire time. Zeus says for $5. I mean, Jeff keeps pushing this OpenViro thing. That seems pretty sketchy.
That's pretty good.
It's so ridiculous. It feels like the bigger brands that have the funds to spend don't want to, but the small sketchy brands are willing to throw money at us. Yes. I've had brands ask me how much for a good review.
Yeah, Jeff, how much is that? Come on, I need to know. I got some meetings coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I love that people accuse me of shilling because I had an Amazon affiliate link and I got a product for free on products that I absolutely shit all over. I have literally ended videos with, here's the affiliate link if you want to, I guess. I wouldn't recommend it.
Here's the affiliate link. Go buy literally anything else. Please.
I have gone so far as to put competing affiliate links in reviews before. Please, buy anything other than this product that was sent to me for free.
Quick, turn on the alert. I have a calcium bet.
Well, now that's just insider trading.
We'll be taking our cut.
Jeff for
Meet us
Congress
in Discord.
2026. I barely have the stomach for this.
Hey, you know, Jeff, I just won local election. Did you know this?
I did not.
Here's my certification.
Oh,
Wait,
damn.
wait. Is it not going to focus?
It's not going to focus. It's background blurred. You have your
I'll show you.
You have your beauty filter on.
I do. Yeah, I don't want anybody. I'll show you after because it has like my district and everything. I don't want people to see that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my certificate of election to my 2-year term.
All right, the rant alert is on.
Perfect.
I'd say the bar is low for you and interstellar high for them because you have a functioning sense of shame and they don't.
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't even go that far. Like, I wouldn't even go that far. The funniest one that we've ever done is probably the Athletic Greens ad. Do you remember the Athletic Greens ad, Rett?
Yeah, yeah.
So I did take money for Athletic Greens at one point. The daily morning supplement of like kale powder that you put in your drink. And they said recommended organically, you know, make sure, you know, your audience knows that you're waking up every day with this substance. And they said pour it into any liquid beverage and enjoy. And so I had Rett clarify with them. Any liquid? And they said, any liquid. I said, say no more, fam. And we poured the recommended amount into a Pilsner. That shit foamed for about 5 minutes straight. Just... That was really funny to film.
It was. It was a really funny video. Thank you, Athletic Greens, AG1, for allowing us to pour your green, nasty shit into a beer.
Jeff, if you lost half your subscribers and doubled the revenue, it's still a win. I don't think it's a win because I stand behind the content I make. And yeah, maybe that gives me a certain amount of shame. Or pride, whatever you take with that. I want to leave this world better than I found it. I want to get people enthused about the things that I'm enthusiastic about. That's why this channel exists. It's to share my love of things. Whether it's tech, whether it's gaming, whether it's... I have a sick love of virtualization and enterprise tech. And it's just something I enjoy because it enables people to do work. And it's an unsung profession. You know, oh, that's an IT problem. Or that's a server that runs somewhere up in the cloud. There's someone who deploys that and maintains that and knows all about that. And I always loved the people behind the curtain. When I worked in theater, I worked in tech. I worked in production. When I played music, I played bass and drums. Like, I'm rhythm section. I'm backup vocals. And I very much love that role. I love letting other people shine. And going unnoticed. I think there's a certain beauty to that. But if I lost half my subscribers and doubled my revenue, yeah, that's the definition of a sellout. But the whole point I made this channel is to celebrate things that I enjoy. Started as a gaming channel, and then 6 months later I posted my first home lab video and people ate it up, and I went, I'll lean into the home lab thing a little more. Because I'm also enthusiastic about that. I don't care what you people like as long as you like the same things I do. But I'm never going to make content I don't like. You touched on it earlier, Rett. Like, we used to have a push 8 videos a month, 2 videos a week.
Yeah.
I produced 2 videos last month because I didn't have content that I felt good enough. As it was the Dell monitor, I wasn't happy with the video production. I didn't show as much on camera as I wanted to show. I didn't explain things as well as I think I could have. The video still did quite well. It's at like 40,000 views today. Like, it's not half bad. But I wanted to do more with it. And I kept getting stuck in the script. And I kept getting stuck in... Am I being clear enough in my opinion? Am I delivering the right words? I've got 3 more videos that are in active production right now as far as like writing stages. Obviously the one about, how does Jeff make money? I have one on the Pebble Watch. And I have another one on... one's going to be a build video. That's going to be super easy. That's probably going to be off the cuff. And then I'm also doing a 4th video, which is a challenge video between me and a bunch of friends making a $550 gaming PC, which, Rett, you need to come over soon.
Oh, yeah.
But I stopped pushing for 8 videos because I felt I was compromising quality.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to do that. If I can only produce 4 to 6 videos a month, that's what I'll produce.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's 2. And I have to live with that. And that means a dramatic downturn in revenue. That means instead of $2,800 on Patreon, I only made $1,200 last month because I only produced 2 videos. And I was okay with that because I wasn't going to push out what I consider to be subpar products. People accuse me of being a shill. How many videos on my channel, even today, have no sponsors with them? I don't make money from AdSense, that's for goddamn sure. I do make money from Patreon, and that's backers who support me based on the amount of content I generate. But a sponsored video can make high 4 figures, low 5 figures. How many videos do I produce that don't have a sponsor? Because we're also very scrupulous with sponsors. Because we're not just taking every Raid Shadow Legends and VPN unnamed provider that comes along. We vet our sponsorships because apparently that's what people care about. And then I produce a video that has no sponsor on it in which I'm accused of being a shill for a company that's never talked to me. The Steam Machine video was 33 minutes long. No sponsor. Not because we couldn't get one, but because I didn't want one on that one. Can you imagine halfway through that monologue breaking for sticking a microwave meal in? Like, yeah. Your true fans want you to eat, Jeff. Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah, not Rett. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, it is about 8:30, and I'm cooking alive down here in my
I noticed
my
you.
live stream. I'm like dripping.
Yeah, when we started the show, it was 94 degrees outside, and I did turn off my window AC unit for the show as well, and it's probably already 80 in this room. Yeah, it's rising quick. Like I'm not quite as moist as you, but you can start to see it on my nose a little bit.
I have a fan like right above, but I turn it off for this stuff because like people are always like, "What is that god awful sound?"
Rhett, I mean, you remember, what was the one rule in this studio?
The fan always has to be pointing at you.
The fan has to point at Jeff, right? This fan is running. If we start a video shoot and this fan is not pointed at me, I will be pissed off in 5 minutes because I will be sweating profusely.
Yeah. He's like, it takes him that long too to figure out what's wrong.
Yeah. Why am I stumbling over my boot? God damn it, Rett. Turn the fan on. You have 2 jobs around here. 1 is make sure everything goes perfectly, and 2 is make sure the fan is pointed at Jeff. And if the fan's not pointed at Jeff, you failed at number 1. So. Well, it is 8:30. Thank you all so much for watching. Keep in mind, through the week, content creators, myself, Rett, Hank Green, we're all literally just people. Trying to do the best we can. The only currency we have in this world is trust. Trust with our audience. And we are kept on such a tight leash. It's probably unfair. Especially when the very people you accuse us of shilling for, or the very tools you accuse us of using, number 1, don't even pay us, and number 2, don't even know we exist. I'm literally just a dude in my basement making videos to try to help make the world the place that I want to see it. And that will always be the case. And if I ever stray, feel free to unsubscribe, walk away, never watch me again. Because I will have sold
me out. Or whatever he says.
Yeah.
Thanks for the pushback.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right to push back.
Yeah.
I appreciate the pushback. But man, can we have a little grace in this world for people who are literally just trying to do the honest thing? Rett, anything good of the order before we close? Anything you're working on? When's your next D&D podcast coming out?
Next D&D podcast is coming out on Monday morning, wherever you get your podcasts. It's called The End at the End. You can subscribe. We put out almost about 6 episodes a month, if you can believe it. So, yeah, wherever you get your podcasts, we'll be there.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to hit subscribe. Like would even be better. Any engagement in the YouTube algorithms does us very, very well. Leave a comment below. What do you think of AI in the creator space? Not as a slop generator, but as a tool for artistic expression or journalistic integrity. Like, where do you land? Where do people land? Oh, you got a Spider-Man on camera. What do you guys think about all the things we've been talking about tonight? Whether it's sponsors or AI or integrity or creator economies or whatever else. Craftcomputing.store. Get yourself some merch. Patreon.com/craftcomputing. Join the Patreon and get access to the Discord server. Chat with myself, Rett, and all the other hosts from Talking Heads all throughout the week. And join the awesome community that hangs out there as well. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching. This has been episode 444, and as always, we will see you next week.
Peace.
Cheers, everyone.